Hi, good evening. Thank you so much for being here today. Nice cold evening in Pune. So, I'm going to take a couple of minutes to do a couple of settings that I need to get ready here. So, give me 2 minutes while I do that. Mhm. Okay, so as people are joining in, I will slowly look to start off. And yes, today my session is about something that has been worrying me for a while now, and that is the psychology behind keeping the video and audio off in an online class. Hey, Jisha, happy evening to you too. Um, well, how does that really matter to a child? Well, I don't know. Let's discuss. If you haven't thought about it, then now is the time. Maybe post this Facebook video. You will be able to think a little more than how you probably took it lightly earlier. No? So let's see through the session. And as we keep going on, please feel free to drop in your messages. So once the session is over, I will look to pick up all the questions one by one. Yeah. Um, okay. So, a school, I would say, according to me, is an environment which is supposed to be a place for a child to grow, for a child to grow with their thought process in place, with their group of people, with their friend circle, where they are growing as a team, where they are with children of their own age, which simply means that they are not just with a huge amount of adults around them, but they are actually amongst people of their age, their thought process. That's why, simply put, we club kids of the same age together, no? So they are able to interact and understand each other better than we would look to understand them as adults. Now, if I had, to always be with senior citizens all the time, I don't know how it would make me feel, because after a point of time, I will start craving for people of my age. Similarly, children also have that feeling. It's psychologically said that if they spend too long a time with older people, they actually start believing they are of that age. So that's why you will see children who are spending too much time with elderly, or only with parents, or only with seniors. You will see that they pick up that kind of language, or the kind of body language, or the kind of conversational behavior which those people have. Isn't it? It's very funny, But it's very natural, because they are just looking to imitate what's around them. That's why it is important. A school is important, and a group of children spending time together is important. So they are together with people of their age and being their age. Now, I would say it's a place to express their feelings, their thoughts. When they come into school, they also look to share food. There's so much more that they do, and they do all these things without expectations, right? When children are in a group of their own, no one's looking to judge them. And when they are not being judged, they express the best. Okay? Because they know that no one's literally hovering on my head. I can just be free with my mind. So children tend to express best when they are not being judged, when someone's not judging them. Now, how has judging come into this context of psychology? Very straightforward. When parents are around the child all the time, whether they are just doing nothing and still staying in the house, or even when they are in their online classroom. Parents are always around. No? Parents are always around all the time. So obviously expression has already become a little constricted because they know someone's already keeping an eye on them, someone's already judging them. If I say this, if I say that, that's going to be difficult, this is going to be correct, this is not going to be correct. Class hone ke baad, the discussion is going to happen and all those things. So it just doesn't leave the conversation in the classroom in an online session with a teacher child, unlike a physical school. In an online, what happens, it becomes teacher child parent all the time on top of the child. Quite a bit for the child to take. But if children are going to be judged all the time, trust me, they are going to shut off. They are going to not just shut off their communication, they are going to shut off their expressions, their thoughts. And this shutting off can at times prove very, very toxic for the child without even we realizing that it is happening. Okay? Take me very seriously when I say this. When children are shut off or overjudged, they lose their privacy. They lose their sense of belongingness. They are going to shut off. When it is going to start doing an asar on them, कब उन पे दिमागी असर आने वाला है? When are they going to start finding it difficult to take it? They really don't know. They are just too small to realize it. This can even be a teenager. Okay, so don't think I'm only talking about a preschooler. I'm talking about anyone who is schooling or colleging or learning at the moment. The only difference between a teenager and slightly younger kids is that a teenager still knows a little bit of emotional handling. Yeah, of course, some teenage parents will say, no, they don't know. Let's have that debate for another day. But for today, I would say teenagers are better handled by themselves than the younger ones, right? Because the younger ones definitely need more understanding from us around them. Now, lately, with it being the online classes for over 2 years now, it has already taken a lot of toll on children. It has been observed, come to my attention, come to a lot of my teachers' attentions, many parents expressing this to us through various different channels, that the schools encourage the children to stay with their video off. They are absolutely okay, and in fact they encourage the class to keep their video shut, simply because the teacher does not want to see too many things around, too many people around. She is comfortable or he is comfortable coming and just completing the session the way that they just had planned, because they are short on time, because they may not have enough resources or whatever. It is not here to, pick and pin on anyone who is doing their job. It is just about the psychology that we are leaving the kids with when we keep them video shut. Now, how does this really affect them? Obviously, it doesn't affect the school much, but how does it affect or feel for the child? Honestly, with many schools, it becomes something like, who cares? My job is to finish my teaching, finish my studies, finish my classroom, finish the curriculum, finish the syllabus, that's about it, right? Now, who cares what's happening behind the screen, especially when there are a huge load of schools that encourage children that the screen is shut off. When I am teaching, apne screens band kar lo, tum chupchap baith ke suno. Now, how is this going to help the child? For me, I have more cons than pros in it. For me, from a psychology point of view, I feel this has done more harm to the child. Maybe the school completed their syllabus on time, but they have not noticed that the child barely understood what was going on. Earlier, if in a classroom there were 15, 20 or 30 children, there have been schools where the teachers last year itself, from the time of Corona lockdown itself, were chucked out of the school. Why? Simply because it became easy for the school to manage lesser number of teachers with more number of children in the class. How? Earlier, if there were 20, 30, 40 kids in one class and, teachers coming in roles and teaching them. Now, one teacher can teach 3, 4 divisions at one go, no? Because she doesn't need to interact with the kids anymore. So, all kids are keeping their video shut. All kids are on mute. The teacher comes to the class, finishes in half an hour, 20 minutes, whatever that is, and has left. A child who has not paid any attention for, far too long is either going to move into his own shell or is going to simply say, I just don't care. पढ़ाना है तुम कर रहे हो. I am just going to sit here because I have to. So did we not subconsciously instill this attitude into the child? Yes, we definitely did that. If any school has encouraged the class to keep their video shut throughout these complete sessions, then they have done huge damage to the child. And ये कब पता चलने वाला है? Not very soon now. अभी 1, 2, 3 महीने में you are not going to know anything. Wait for 2 to 3 years when the concepts will jump to the next level. When the concepts will jump to the next level is when your child is going to experience that, oh, these things somewhere were taught 3 years ago. I think मैं उस time में class में था नहीं. I was busy in my room because the teacher never cared whether I was going to be in the class or not. So it really didn't matter. So obviously he's going to come back to the school. Schools beware. How it's mentally affecting the child. Currently nobody knows. Even worse, nobody knows whether this child is in the class or not because videos बंद है. तो अगर मैं ऐसे बैठी हूँ यहाँ पे और मैं बातें किए जा रही हूँ, आपको लग रहा है मैं यहाँ पे हूँ. Maybe I am like 10 feet away with a very good reception on my Bluetooth and I don't even know who all are here in my session. Right? Really didn't matter, no? So how does this affect the child? Trust me, it affects the child mentally quite bad. The child has decided to go into a seclusion for himself. You know why? Because the child, he or she, is only trying to understand that someone's there and doing a job. My presence does not matter to that person. So why am I supposed to be here? I might as well roam around in my house. My parents are happy that I am online. My parents anyway say ये तो online class में बैठता ही नहीं है. So parents are blaming the child without realizing the psychology behind why ये बच्चा आपका क्लास में बैठता ही नहीं है. कभी सोचा है? आपके बच्चे से ये सवाल पूछने के पहले क्या आपने कभी स्कूल से ये सवाल पूछा कि आप मेरे बच्चे को अपने क्लास में बिठाने में सक्सेसफुल क्यों नहीं रहे? Why is everyone always blaming the child? The child did not ask for an online class. The child definitely did not ask for a pandemic. The child did not ask for being shut inside the house for so long. But all of us as adults, senior citizens are doing all the movements and all the job that we need to do the way it needs to be done. But it is this one particular education lot which is definitely suffering the most. Although we think online तो चल रहा है, ठीक है, पढ़ाई हो रही है. Today I spoke with a prominent personality who I hope I will be able to add into the conversation in some time. And she said that somebody completed their MBA online. I remember when I did my MBA. MBA is Masters in Business Administration. I had to work simultaneously, without which we wouldn't even get an admission for an MBA. Okay, so it was something where we worked subah se sham tak, and then we come running into the college and make sure we log into the time, and then we are in the college till 9:30, 10. You are not allowed to skip the classes in between, and then you're going back home, and then the routine continues 5-6 days a week. So now somebody has completed an entire MBA online. Imagine medical colleges also running online. Imagine engineering colleges also running online. How are they experiencing what needs to be done on ground? Now, think about the long-term effect this is going to have 2 to 3 years down the line. Can you imagine the catastrophe that's just waiting to happen? Pandemic was still health-wise. Now the catastrophe with the economic background of these people who have just gotten educated in this format is going to be even worse. ठीक है, adults है, चल जाएगा. कहीं कहीं कैसे तो भी उल्टा पुल्टा करके सीख लेंगे. But what about these children who are doing their 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 classrooms? How are they going to take it? If no one has actually interacted with them, बच्चा तुमको समझ में आया क्या हम क्या कर रहे हैं क्लास में? कोई नहीं पूछ रहा है उससे. हम सब आके अपना काम खत्म करके निपट रहे हैं. 1 year gone, 2 years gone, सेकेंड ईयर का अभी सिर्फ 2 महीना बचा हुआ है. अभी क्या चेंज होने वाला है? कुछ नहीं. जो उसके मल्टीप्लिकेशन के कॉन्सेप्ट्स, जो उसके डिवीजन के कॉन्सेप्ट्स क्लियर होने चाहिए थे, जो एक्चुअल क्लासरूम में होपफुली टीचर के इंटरेक्शन के साथ बेहतर क्लियर होते, अभी तो क्लियर होने का नाम भी नहीं लेने वाला. यू नो व्हाई? Because none of these kids are going to be failed in any grade. Whether a child got 10 out of 100 or 100 out of 100, these kids are going to go to the next grade. The next grade teacher in that particular school will still continue with the screen off. Hope, in the coming academic year, the schools are going to open and going to stay open forever now. But, for some unforeseen reason, that does not happen. How are we looking to deal with it? How long are parents going to keep blaming the children? How long are everybody going to keep blaming these young minds who did not ask for this? If I'm sounding panicky, then I'm trying to ensure that it is getting straight driven into the people who are listening me out here. Yeah? Literally, the child is lost in the class. Okay? If I have to keep sitting like this and keep looking at the screen, and in some time, I am lost. I am just lost. 10 minutes later, if nobody even calls out my name, I am blissfully in my own world. How did it matter to anybody? It's sad, no? It is alarming. Yeah. Unfortunately, schools are seemingly happy with this approach of keeping the video off. I will not name any schools here. But if any of your children or friends' children or relatives' children are in a school like this, I'm not asking you to change your school, but I'm asking you to change the approach towards online classroom. Because if someone's not going to interact with them, these little minds, when they get back to physical schooling, are sincerely going to think that it is okay if I even sat under the desk. 2 साल से तो किसी ने मुझको पूछा नहीं, अभी कौन पूछने वाला है? Right? Because I'm brain trained. I'm brain trained as a child to just shut up and sit. No one cares whether I know or not. So after a point of time, I wonder, why am I even sitting in this class? So now this has become, my child psychology is forcing me to say that this has become a forced requirement. अब जबरदस्ती बैठना पड़ेगा. Okay, fine. I'll just sit here and I can even be coloring. I can even be playing games on the phone. Who knows? And then we say, मेरा बच्चा जब देखो एडिक्ट हो गया है फोन के साथ. अरे भाई, पूरे स्कूल टाइम में तो वही करता आया है. Why are we blaming the kids? We are actually as a school coming up with a concept class where we want to ask parents and children to sit down with us for a certain period of time to just get certain refreshers done before they get into the next grade, because these are the gaps we are seeing with these children, which if not fixed now, it's probably going to be too late. Not for you and me, we are all going to do fine. But for that child who has probably not practiced enough writing, probably not practiced enough of addition, subtraction, multiplication and division, probably not practiced enough of probability and perimeter and area and other sums, they are going to take it is going to take a toll on them in another 2 years from now, 3 years from now. Now if your child is in 6th or 7th and they are shutting their video and sitting, imagine this continues for another year. Now next year they are going to be in 8th or 9th, right? They have not had any interaction. No one's checking whether they know it or not. You're going to, as a parent, be hammering on them saying, chalo, 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 isko karna hai, tumko karna hai, teacher ne sikha diya. Or you're going to sit with them and teach. Or you're again going to force them into another either online classroom where no interaction might happen or will happen, or into another physical class. The child, think about the child. They spent 3-4 hours whole day, meaningless. Now they are going to go back now to make meaning out of it. Why did they spend 4 hours in the morning? They might as well just finish that meaningful act, no? Isn't it? not been very easy for me to put this across. I have tried to keep up my temper when I'm doing this honestly, but this thing has been irking me for a very, very long time. Because think about a child who goes to a playground, okay? Sometimes children are mean. I think that's just a part of growing up, and that's okay. All of us have experienced this, or all of us have given that experience to somebody else. Okay? Suppose I went to a park and one child was mean with me and said, "No, you're not allowed to play with me. Or if you want to see me play, you want to be a part of the game, you sit down and watch for half an hour. You understand the game, then only you can come and play with me." Okay, I'm just finger on my lips, going and sitting on the side. And half an hour over, my parent has called me back home. That's it. Now I cannot play anymore. Or then that child has forgotten about me and is not going to call me back. वो game change हो गया, next dinner आ गया, they've forgotten about me comfortably. What about me? Who cares whether I got a chance to play or not? Now, I as a child have two choices. Either I say, I just don't care, forget it, it's a park, I'll come back tomorrow, I'll find somebody, some other group to play with. Excellent choice, ये सिर्फ पार्क में हो सकता है. Or I'm going to feel so sad and so shut off that I might just think, what if I come back tomorrow and I find the same group here and I'm going to experience the same? Or I go to another group and I'm going to experience the same in the other group as well. Is something wrong with me? Is that why they are not taking me to play with them? Now, in a playground, remind yourself that you can have the choice of shifting the timings or shifting the groups in which you want to play. But in a school, you don't have that kind of a choice. In a school, you need to be in the same group for the whole year. And probably for the next academic year and the next and the next. How am I going to feel? How many parents are actually going to sit and understand child psychology just to understand what's going on with your child in an online classroom? How many of us take those efforts? I don't know. But if you haven't done it so far, please start it from now. Please start it now. Ask your child to keep their video on. In your PTMs, please approach schools and tell them, ठीक है, it's okay. If you don't want the children to interact, it's okay. But at least let them be seen in the class. उन्हें एक दूसरे का शक्ल तो देखने दो. इतना तो उनका हक बनता है ना. In a physical classroom, there are so many people and you can have movement. कभी मन करता है कि इधर से उठ के उधर चल के बैठो, उधर से उठ के इधर चल के बैठो. Some schools are very strict, they don't even allow that, but many schools are allowing that. But in an online class, you're stuck to a place. You cannot keep carrying the phone device or the laptop device everywhere you want to simply walk, or you just want to take a walk up and down. So the moment in the middle of the class also, if the child feels I want to just get up and take a walk, the teacher might quickly be like, hello, where are you going? Don't go anywhere, just sit down. ऐसा भी हो सकता है. But at least the teacher is talking to the child. That's what I'm talking about. Let the child be felt in the class by not just an ID name, but by the face that I exist. Please, in 1 year's time, I might look different. By the end of the year, the teacher may not even recognize me if she's going to run the entire class with the video off. How is that fair for the child? Not at all. Very, very unfair. Okay, so on that note, what I'm going to do is I am going to just try this. I'm doing this for the first time, so just please bear with me. In case I mess up, I am sure what I'm... Okay, I think I can do this. Am I able to... Madhuri, are you there? Okay, at least my system is saying that you're adding in. Okay. Guys, please wait. We all know that there is a beautiful parent-based page where, after a very strong experience, Madhuri Singh, hi, welcome, good evening, so nice. I did it.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, all of us
I'm
can hear
not
you.
able to
That's
hear you
wonderful.
very
Thanks for
clearly.
coming over. So parents, all of you know her very, very well. If you haven't, been on the Pune parents Facebook
I
page,
can't
then
hear
now is
you
the time.
clearly.
Is it better now? It's better now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Okay.
happened?
So I'll hold it like this. So
Sure.
parents whoever have not been on this page before, it's called Pune Parents Facebook page. And recently Madhuri Singh herself had been a TEDx speaker where she very beautifully put across a strong situation that she faced, which made her extremely connected to parents who should not face the same situation ever in their life. So she was a TEDx speaker just a couple of weeks ago, and she has posted that on her page. Please do listen it out and understand the pain from where a lot of things crop up. Okay, and be sensitive towards schools, but at the same time be sensible about schools as well, right? So today I'm really privileged to have Madhuri on the show, so thanks so much, Madhuri. I have been doing this for the last few minutes, and the topic today is psychology behind keeping the video and audio off in an online classroom. So, I want to hear your thoughts and then I have my questions for you. Please go ahead and share your thoughts.
I listen to your talk on and off. Um, so I'm going to just share my views on how, I mean, good or bad, I don't know, but I have been watching my son who's sitting in a class of 100 students, one teacher, not allowed to switch on their camera, or of course, no audio, no
Not
video. So
allowed. So that's
basically,
the
they're
school
not
policy, not
allowed.
allowed.
Yes. So many times, I mean, if you wake up early morning or you've been playing late night, you end up lying on the bed and slowly when you have dozed off, you wouldn't even know that. And so that's where I feel that interaction and having the computer or your audio, video, everything on also makes lot of sense when it comes to attention when the children are. So I'll tell you, give you an example. I was attending an international Sanskrit course, which was from, I'm telling you, for 12 days, 6 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. Just breaks for lunch and breakfast. That was the time given to us. And, there were many times when I felt, okay, 6 a.m., let me just switch on the Zoom and plug on my earphones and lie down on the bed and then continue. But I don't know, as if the teacher came to know, the moment I did this, he would start, okay, now next Madhuri Singh is going to talk about this particular thing. I'm like, oh my God. But because of that, I know that sometimes these teachers may just randomly call names, and if you're not present, then you're out of that course, right? So I have to be there at any point the moment they say, okay, now switch on your camera. So it does make lot of difference where you're paying attention. You may see, teacher, as a teacher, you may not be really able to look into each child's eye, or what the child is doing or not. But the child has this thing that, okay,
Yes.
teacher may be looking at me at any point of time, and if there is a question answer, at least I can immediately switch on my audio and answer. But and also, if let's say there are 100 students, of that, even if 50 have switched on their video, you're not going to call those who have not switched on the video. You will basically ask questions to those who have switched on the video, because they have
Correct.
that much, at least they have paid attention and have the
Perfect. Yes.
courage to come and sit and right in front of the teacher and answer. Maybe they have been listening also, probably. And coming back to your question, I think, uh, whether what was the question you had asked in the beginning? Are you able to hear me?
At the Yes, yes, yes. You mean to say at the start of the session?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah,
It was more to do with, why children come to school. That was what I started with, on why children come to school and how it helps them, and why are parents accepting that it is okay that children are, not paying attention, that's okay, but children are sitting with their video off and that was okay. So, does it really affect the child or not psychologically? That was.
absolutely. If I am just school to restart, because I can see, I think they are not studying, they are not getting anything into their head. It has to come from within. So, in general, children of this age, they need to be in that environment. Environment is not right, where you are allowed to sit on your own, have a video, audio, or non a video switched off. I don't think so. Children are actually getting anything into their head. They are, this whole 2 year will be basically useless. So the knowledge is gone. So once they go back to probably school, I think they are going to, teachers are going to have to face a lot of problem, because let's say
Absolutely.
sixth and seventh would not have done much, would not have really understood the basics and concepts of that ninth, sixth and seventh grade, and then suddenly in eighth standard it's very difficult, because eighth standard is something where you start with really big
Yeah,
concepts. If
it's a
in
big
sixth and
jump.
seventh not covered,
It's a big
can't.
jump.
So I think the teachers are going to have hard time. Not just the teachers, I think the children, parents, everybody is going to face big time problem moment the school starts.
You have been an online student, right? Even though if it was for a short period of time, you have been an online classroom student with your Sanskritam classes. Uh, Share your experience with that entire environment. How it really motivated you to be there the whole time.
I think I would see, we can't compare a student, a teenager with an adult, because I want to do it. I want to learn Sanskrit, right? I don't know whether the children want to learn physics and maths and all those subjects. They are doing it because they have to do it. They don't understand right now what is the value of the whole thing. Maybe later, but unless it comes from within, so let's say there is a child who wants to do some course online on by his own self, then that interest, motivation, attention, everything will be 100%. But here it's like a classroom
True.
online. I don't think so that motivation is there for them to, it's okay, miss हो गया तो miss हो गया, what's the big deal? उनको, they don't right now, उनको पता ही नहीं है बेचारे क्या भुगत रहे हैं. They are enjoying actually. They are thinking they are enjoying, but उनके ऊपर कितनी बड़ी problem आने वाली है, that I guess you will know, because you as a
वो
teacher are going to
वो
face
फ्यूचर में
that,
पता चलने
and
वाला है.
teachers are going to,
Yes.
very bad situation will come up. Especially, I came to know that one of the parents had come for the consultation, and she said, my sister's son has finished his MBA sitting in one room. So imagine. So there are, I mean, 2 years is enough, right, for post graduation. So there are many people who have finished post graduation sitting in their houses. Now, see, for maybe MBA and things which you could do
Yes.
anyways, it is okay. But suppose it was something, where it is life and death situation, which where hands-on practice is needed. I wonder what will happen to those if they were given degrees.
Yeah, it definitely is scary, when you think so far. I was only thinking about how difficult it is in schools, not for the school, but for the child to cope up in another couple of years from now. Now, when I look at, and I heard from you as well about, higher degrees also being completed like this, I can only use that one word catastrophe is just going to happen. It is just along the way. We don't know when it is going to affect.
Yeah.
whether 2 years from now, 4 years from now, 10 years from now, whenever that person is going to go on ground and actually probably build a bridge or do a heart surgery, that's when the
You know
effect is
what?
going to be seen.
That's giving me an idea. I think maybe, I should collaborate with you and other teachers to have some kind of bridge course. Will you be willing?
Of course, why not? Why not? Always anything for children for their betterment.
Yeah, we could because then final exams coming. I'm sure many children are lost in their parents lost in their own world. So, what is that noise?
No,
Children are
the fact
lost,
that it has
parents
become
lost.
कि ठीक है, हमने स्कूल में एडमिशन ले लिया है, अब बच्चा पढ़ रहा है, अब और कोई चारा नहीं है तो ऑनलाइन ही होना पड़ेगा. So that's going on. But no one's seeing what is the result of this online class. Are they actually learning in it? Are they actually able to understand what they need to understand? They are not just supposed to complete the pages of the textbook. They are supposed to understand
Yeah,
the value of what is mentioned in that page. Is that happening? I am afraid, and I will still honestly say that with a class of 30, 40, 50, that's difficult to achieve. What do you have to say about it?
of course. 30, 40, at least you are saying it is difficult and you're accepting it. My son's class has 100 children and nobody is accepting it. I really wonder. I wonder what will
Great.
happen to
Thank
them
you so
once
much.
they are into.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank
Thank
you
you so
so much for
much
taking time
for
out today,
this
late evening, post
time being here.
dinner. Thanks a ton.
Thank
Sorry.
you. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. So, everyone, yes, sure. So, well, you heard it from the expert herself. You heard it from the person who has a very good knowledge and experience herself in this field of education, that keeping your video off for her as well in her online classes hasn't worked. Hasn't worked for her son as well because her son also doesn't like it really much. So it's time for all of us as parents to wake up and ask these questions to the schools. Would you like to please see my child? You know what? In the last 6 months, they've slightly grown taller. They have grown longer hair. My seventh grader has slightly grown a mustache. These are things that, or maybe my child has now started to wear spectacles. These are things that are simple conversations that are going to be picked up from time to time. So now let me take that note and say thank you very much for being here. Happy Lori, happy Sankranti, happy Pongal, happy Bihu to everyone. I hope this session has been informative and useful for you. What I'm now going to do is go through the comments that have come up. Jisha Nair has been quite active with us over here. She says, absolutely, if it's happening this way, it's certainly incomplete approach. Yes, Jisha, that's how it has been happening. Aparna says the effects of this will be seen in 20 years from now. I am not even willing to wait 20 years. Whether I'll be alive or no, I don't know. But I'll still give it 2 years. 2 years. And we'll start seeing the rippling effect of it. Yeah. Uh, then I have the child is even sleepy when they are in front of the screen. Of course, too much screen time is not easy. You think about yourself sitting in front of that laptop, even at work. After a while, your eyes are going to start feeling drowsy. And then if you are just a coder and तुमको बस इसी में बैठे रहना है, you will start living in one world which is only you and the laptop, nothing more than that, no? Now, how does this percolate for a child in their brains? They are not supposed to be secluded in one place. Not good. It is we parents who are responsible for this since once the school starts, we remember COVID-19. See, unfortunately, it is not possible for us to start schools at the moment, simply because it's not safe, not just for your child, but for any of us to step out. Okay. Soon I'm going to be having another session on another platform where I'll be speaking with people who have recovered from COVID on paper, but what is the long-term effect that they are actually seeing in their health? So let's be thankful that we were not infected by this virus if you have not been so far. And please take care that you do not get infected by it. It's not worth it. ये कोई रेस नहीं है कि चलो लग गया तो क्या फर्क पड़ने वाला है, एक बार हम भी देख ले. नहीं, it's not worth it. क्योंकि हमारे हाथ में नहीं है कि ये कितना सीरियसली हमें अफेक्ट करेगा या नहीं करेगा. वो जो भी करना है ना वो वायरस कर लेगा. एक बार आ गया तो फिर उसकी चाह है, अपनी नहीं चलेगी. So let's just remember that it is called a pandemic for a reason. The whole world has been shutting down every now and then for a reason. Those who thought it is masti, it is fun, hold those horses. Be thankful. Even if you got it and it was mild, still be thankful. I am a part of the COVID warrior team in my society and I see what suffering people are going through. Physically, mentally, it is not easy. And then the long-term effect, पूछने कोई नहीं जाता है. You'll simply just go to specialists every now and then and keep saying, इस डॉक्टर के पास इसके लिए जाना है, उस डॉक्टर के पास उसके लिए जाना है. It's not worth the effort. Yeah. Wonderfully put across through such a little subtle way. I totally get the space. Thank you very much, Jisha. Thank you very much. I doubt किसी को deal करना भी है जहाँ screen off. 1 minute, huh? It is a long one that she's written. Where did it go? हाँ, जहाँ screen off हो, सिर्फ पढ़ा के निकलना हो. Kids getting promoted class after class without actual conceptual learning. Yes, that is my worry. That is definitely my worry. Yeah. Thank you, Namita Sawant, for saying that you love listening to me. I hope you meant me or Madhuri. Either ways, we would love to keep bringing up factual points of discussion where it feels ki it touches the parent. That's more important. That's what we want to focus on. Nidhi Mittal, thank you so much for being here. Make him write a home. There is always a solution for everything. Yes, the make him write at home, there's always a solution. Yes, but then the problem is, how much will the child listen now? The child has already spent a few hours in the morning where no one interacted. Now the child just looks, see, that's the psychology I'm talking about. Now the child just looks at those books and pencils and can only relate to those 3-4 hours of non-interaction. Now when you bring back that same trauma to them,